Howdy y'all, got the Bulldog on the channel. What we got here today, it's a 2015 Hyundai Sonata. Customer came in complaining of a very, very bad smell. And yeah, I can imagine that. Let me show you what's going on here. As you can see right here, we're on top of the exhaust manifold, and all that discoloration over there, that's oil, and it's leaking from underneath the valve cover gasket. Now, we had this in a couple weeks ago. We didn't have any time to do it right then, so we put it off until now. We don't have time to do it now, but this is when we had scheduled, when we thought everything else was going to be done. That didn't work, but it shouldn't take us long to get this valve cover off and get it all switched out. There are some wrinkles in it. Can it be done? Yes, like everything, it can be done. It's just a little bit harder because, you know, engineers. Let's get started. First off, we'll pop off the cover. It just pops on, there's no screws. I'll probably need to move that again. This whole valley has got oil in it, which that's not ideal. High pressure fuel pump, that is going to have to be removed. We've got gaskets and everything ordered for that too. Don't forget all your incidentals. You say valve cover gasket, you think just a valve cover gasket, but they like to put a lot of stuff in here. Pull your foam sound deadener off the top of your fuel pump. Do the electrical. Now, I've got a bunch of fancy tools for unhooking all this stuff. Half the time they don't work. Just used a door clip to pop that off. It has its own little tool inside of it. You have to hold it back against it to pop it loose. If you know, you know. Now we just got the fuel outlet and 2 bolts to pop this out. This here's 19 millimeter. Break it loose. Two 10 millimeter screws holding it down. Usually you can get enough leeway to get that thing apart. It pops right out. It's best to have a cart empty for putting all your stuff down. That way it keeps it all organized and straight. And a lot of times I'll leave my bolts in the component so that I know where they go back. Keeping it clean is easy because you always have an endless supply of boxes to use. Now we're going to have to remove our ignition coils. They got these locks on them here. I usually take a flathead and try to pop these locks up without breaking them. Some of them come up better than others. Now, pull off your harness and try to lay it out of the way as best you can. plastic. Magnetic tray is ideal. Sometimes I end up unplugging a lot of stuff that I really shouldn't need to, just to get stuff out of the way. And you might want to do things like pull out the dipstick. Yeah, now we got to charge for a CAT scan. You're not helping. Because you don't want to break it off. They're plastic. Pulling hoses. Come on. Oh, that's not even moving. Breaking that stuff loose helps immensely. I think I can pull that out of the way. Having stuff hanging over the top of it is kind of the nature of the beast. Since the looming's trying to crumble, you don't want all those little pieces to get inside the motor, so now, pull your coils. No oil on that one. Try to keep them lined up from which cylinder they came out of and check them for oil. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I've never done one of these before. Not on this style. Will this valve cover come out from underneath this fuel line? Don't bend on these fuel lines. They're more likely to break than to bend. I don't think that'll come out of there. But I'm going to take everything loose and just see if it sneaks out. If it does, good. If it don't, well, oh well. Some of these valve covers have grommets in the bolts that hold them in place. This one don't, so collect them as you go along. Helps you from losing them. It also makes it easier if you pull one out and notice that it's different, to put it in a different spot in your tray. That way you know that it was different. Some people can depend on their memory. I can't. I guess that has to come loose. It's directly over top of that bolt. This is why we really get upset, because of one problem. We got to do this. Well, in order to do this, we got to do this. In order to do this, we got to do this. In order to do this, we got to do this. It's aggravating. In order to get down to this, looks like I got to pull the entire air box out. Okay. That is a piece. Hold that in place. It looks like it'll wow up enough to work with now. Flex is okay. Don't bend it. I'm gonna guess that I don't have to take this box out. Should be everything, but I'll do a once over. Make sure nothing got missed. All right. Now here's the tricky part. Prying up enough to break the seal without breaking things. Oftentimes these things are stuck, almost like they're glued. And they're plastic. You have to go by feel, never prying too much. And work your way from one side to the other, because I got this side popped loose, the other side's stuck. Okay. You kind of listen for the gasket to start to give way. There we go. Now, gotta pull this side up quite a bit. Engine bracket is wet. I loosen up this engine bracket here and lay it over. Allow me to pick straight up on this end of the valve cover. I'm gonna back it out quite a ways because it has a lock on it to keep it from rotating. Yeah, I'm gonna take it all the way out. Oh, here, I got it. Almost all the way out. Okay, that will clear now. Pull up the fuel line. And there it goes. The gasket is stuck down. Peel it off. And it's pretty stiff. See, that's why we're changing it. Hard as a rock. Some of the gaskets broke off and didn't come with. Get them all peeled off. Now we'll get everything cleaned up and get it ready to go back together. Okay, we got the new gasket installed on the valve cover. Got the new gasket around the high pressure fuel pump. We'll go back in. I took it slow getting it apart. I think I'm gonna speed it up a little bit for the reinstall. All right, that takes care of it. Pretty simple job, something you can do in your driveway with hand tools. The only thing is you better about have a flare wrench to take off that one nut on the high pressure fuel pump. But unless somebody's cranked it tight, you know, you can get it broke loose. You shouldn't have problems, but you still might. We took it out for a test drive, cleaned it all off, and it's not dripping wet anymore. All nice and clean and dry around in the valley. I'm going to check the oil real quick because when it came in here a couple weeks ago, it was like 2.5 quarts low on oil. I'm going to check and see if the customer might want an oil change also. But this takes care of, you know, the reason why it didn't have any in it. So like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell notification, share it all around. I'll talk to you later.